This is my example for 4th grade, 3rd grade, and 2nd grade. It is a Kandinsky lesson based on his abstract art. So your first step is going to be dividing your paper. You can use a straight edge to do that. You can be really specific and you can figure out like how long your paper is and make a dot to figure out how big. So I figured that my paper was 11 inches and it was probably about 2.75 would be how I would need to divide it up. So you're going to need to figure out how long your paper is, and then you're going to divide it by 4 and make a mark every 2.75 inches if your paper is 11 inches. And this last one, I don't need to make a mark. Oh, it's perfect. It's the end of the paper is 2.75. So I'm going to do that down here. This is the only reason this lesson really is a little more difficult, in that it's meant for older kids, because I want you to learn how to use your ruler and divide your paper into even sections for this project. So the way that you can make a straight edge is by connecting those little marks that you made. So you're going to make your ruler touch the mark and you're going to press your pencil against it and you're going to draw a straight line. If you don't have a straight edge to do this with, you could also fold your paper in half and then fold it in half again, and that would make 4 sections. And what I mean is you could fold it in half like this, and then one more time. And that would create creases, and you could draw your lines where the creases were. Okay, so we're making art like Kandinsky, and we've tried to divide our paper similar to the way that he divided his paper in one of his more famous pictures. So we need 3 equal sections going this way. So 8.5 is almost 9, so it's going to be about each container is going to be about 3 inches, maybe a little less. So let's mark it 2.75 again. And go over here and go 2.75, and then do the same thing on this end of the paper. Okay, you're going to connect those dots. Now that we did the math and we drew our straight lines, we should have the right number of containers. We should have 4 across, 4 in the middle, and 4 on the bottom row. And you're going to grab a handful of crayons, and the challenge with this project is 2 colors can't touch. So you can use 2 colors next to each other. But you couldn't have the colors be next to each other. So they can be in boxes next to each other, but they can't touch each other. They can't be the very last color that you're using. So every container in this project needs 3 circles. And see how I used the same color in both of those? As long as they're not my last color, it's fine. So you're going to pick some crayons, random handful of crayons, colors that you think look good together, and you're going to draw 3 circles in each container. Try to limit your colors a little bit. Don't use every color in the crayon box, because then it won't have a unified feeling. having the color here and the same color over here kind of help bring your artwork together. So I'm going to use the same green here on the inside. And then I can use this blue again, and the reason that I can use that blue again is because I'm going to draw one more circle so it won't be touching then. And I can use orange. So you don't want to use the same color for your third circle in two containers that are right next to each other. So I'm not going to make you watch me color all those circles, but this is my example. So once you have your paper gridded off or divided evenly somehow, and your circles are colored, then you're going to get out your watercolors and you are going to do a wax resist. So a wax resist means that you're using watercolor paints right over crayon. The more water that you add, the lighter it's going to be. I don't want you to color the whole thing the same color. You can use the same color again somewhere else, but let's try to make it so that each box has a different color on the outside of it. So don't use the same green here or here. You can jump around with the same color of green. I'd use some water in the middle. Maybe have my edges be darker, but it's really your painting. If it's wet, maybe skip the box. Don't do it one right next to it because then your colors will smear together. So you can kind of jump around when you're painting your Kandinsky project. There should be no white showing at the end of your painting and coloring. That's how you'll know that your project is complete.